threads the other day. Thank you for overlooking me in advance. I'm thanking everybody in advance who overlooks me because they're overlooking me for free labor, for shit that I don't need to do, that don't necessarily really help me, but it helps them. So thank you in advance, because this year is really about focusing on me. And I think that I have more power than sometimes I give myself credit for, and people recognize it. And they'll recognize when I'm like sipping my tea, like, oh, okay, that sucks. Are they saying that? Oh, okay. But nobody is getting what I did in the past. Nobody is getting it. Unless you pay me, you're not getting that. And that's a very, very hefty price, because I think what I contributed, I don't know if you can put a $ on that. So, but you're going to have to start somewhere. It's not going to be for free. I do know that much.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The Ride. You're on the Mothership inside the Black Woman Magic Room with the greatest podcast on earth.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, God. Oh, right off the bat. Okay.
Okay. It's okay.
With the greatest podcast on earth, GPO. I am one of your co-hosts, Crystal Tennille Irby.
And I am NeKisha Killings.
Oh, a mother of 4.
Same. What she said.
Mother of 4. So the big reaction was because this is our first recording without Thea Monier. And so this is
new normal.
This is our new normal. If you heard our last episode, it was Thea's farewell episode. She is off to do other endeavors and really was guided by the divinities to give more time and space to that work. And so we honor that. There's no drama.
We miss her.
Yeah, we miss her. We're all still friends. There's no drama, nothing like that. Yeah. But it was really a spiritual decision. But, you know, we're going to be okay. We're going to move through it. We're not going to try to ignore it, but just like, oh, God.
That may happen a couple more times. We just gonna do it.
Yeah, a couple more times. And we're not, NeKisha and I haven't even talked about like what this iteration looks like. We're just kind of like flowing through it.
We're feeling our way through.
We're feeling our way through. We don't know if we're gonna like have a third host. One of the things that was important to me in starting the podcast was having 3 voices, because so many podcasts have 2 voices. So I really wanted 3 voices, and I thought that would always have a, robust conversation and bring energy. And we have very different backgrounds. So that was really important. But I'm in favor of a third co-host. But
we may need a little balance because we're South heavy.
We're South heavy. We are South heavy, and we're married heavy. We're married heavy. So we may need a balance, but we also just may need some time just to like sit in this before we jump into adding a third voice. But we'll see. Thank you all for riding with us, though. We appreciate y'all.
Into this new chapter.
Y'all for sticking with us through this new chapter. This is also our 10th year.
I said that to someone last night, and I was like, that just sounds... That's a lot of time.
This is our 10th year, and I usually am terrible at celebrating things, but NeKisha and Thea were adamant about we're going to take this whole year to celebrate in Black Mamas. So
it's a big deal.
We're going to come up with some things to commemorate this year and to celebrate us. I mean, that's no easy feat. Most podcasts stop after 8 episodes. So to be here 10 years later, I always say we started when you had to go to the 3rd page of Google to figure out how to record a podcast.
And we did.
3 different hosts in 3 different places. We started out on Skype. I don't even know if Skype... Is Skype still around?
I hope not. It was terrible. What purpose would it serve? What purpose would it serve in a Zoom world?
In a Zoom world. What? We started out on Skype. We went to Zoom, and now there's all kinds of platforms that you can record a podcast on and all this stuff. So we're OGs in this. So we've been here for a minute. So now that I think about it, we should celebrate. So we have an amazing guest today. We're so excited that she said yes. Our guest for today is Reecie Colbert. She's the founder of Black Woman's Views. She also is known as Reece with the Receipts.
And I love a good receipt, honey. Love it.
And Reese's receipts are like CVS receipts. They
are
long
with it.
And strong.
And I feel like if you've heard her voice, you know her. Her voice is so
if
unique.
You hear her voice, you know her. And one of the reasons why I wanted her on the show is because I call her fussing and cussing. Like, she's always fussing and cussing. And so, not always, but like, she fusses and she cusses. And so I thought she would fit in with us.
It's a lot to fuss and cuss about. There is.
But also because she can break down electoral politics in a digestible way. So that is the most sequin on a water bottle I've ever seen.
What you say? What'd you say now?
If y'all are not on YouTube, y'all need to go to YouTube and see this water bottle that NeKisha has held up. Is that like a sleeve or is it glued on there? Is it bedazzled?
It's bedazzled. It is.
Bedazzled.
Yes. Go on.
I just need to get a water bottle in a minute. I just need y'all. I'm giving people time to go to YouTube and look at this water bottle.
Yeah, I'm gonna get y'all one of these
that NeKisha has.
Get y'all one of these.
Oh, they're available for sale.
Bedazzled. They're on Amazon. You can find them. Okay. This one was made for me before they blew up on Amazon, but they're widely available now.
Okay, so somebody special made that for you. Okay, that's nice. That's nice. But I just want y'all to see it. It matches the corner of my eye shadow. But hey, Reese with 3 C's is going to be on with us. And we're going to be talking about electoral politics and Black motherhood. So we're really, really excited for this conversation. We're really to have her on. I think, that's my alarm to tell me that.
I had 3 alarms go off for this too.
That's my alarm to tell me that I need to take a break from working. But, or that I need to start dinner, one of the two. But so we want to have a really good time. I expect to have a really, really good time with Reese and a really informative time. It is Black History Month. At Dim Black Mamas, it's Black Healing Month.
Yeah.
And so I hope this conversation is healing in a way that it grounds us and gives us some perspective for the midterms that are coming up. So it's been 2 years since the election?
No, just one. Just one. We're far out from the midterms, but they're coming. But
the election was 2024.
Oh yeah. But, it didn't come in until 2025.
Yeah,
so it's just been a year.
NeKisha don't want to give him. She don't want to give him no more time than he needs. Hopefully, this conversation can give us some grounding, some perspective, and healing. But This episode is like a normal episode. Well, the new normal. We'll start off with our pull from our Black Woman Magic card deck.
Yes.
And we'll move into our ancestor quote, then church announcements, praise reports, and prayer list requests. Really excited about a praise report that I have.
Yeah.
And then we'll move into our mac and cheese, where our guest will be Reecie Colbert. And we'll end with our Black Mama Say. And this episode for our Black Mama Say, since this is our first recording of 2026, we'll be letting you know what our word of the year is.
Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe.
NeKisha, it's just the two of us. I really need your help on this. It's just the two of us. I really, really need your assistance on this.
Sometimes I have to get into the year and feel it out, see what
NeKisha,
it is.
It's just the two of us. It's the end of January. You should be into the year. Okay, let's get into our pull from our Black Mama Magic card deck.
Are you feeling a number? You feeling a number? Or you want to do a blind pull?
A number.
Do a blind pull. See what comes up.
Do a blind pull?
Do a little shuffle and see what rises to the top for us.
Okay. You're not supposed to hard shuffle these cards. You don't shuffle these kind of cards like you shuffle a card deck. You just kind of move them around a little bit.
And you see what comes up.
And that's it. Okay, let me see what comes up. Okay. I
feel like it's going to be good.
That was the info card, so that don't count.
Nope.
Okay, let me see here.
Unless it's trying to tell us something. Okay. What you seeing? I'm nervous a little bit now.
I feel like I've seen this so much lately. Encouraging Black women to be in their soft era. And we made this card deck, I don't know how many years ago. And as Thea used to say, we're always ahead of the research.
Well,
we're always ahead of the research. So we were talking about this like years ago before it became a thing now. So this is often. This is card 52. 5 plus 2. Oh, Thea's not here. I don't know nothing about the numbers. So
7. Significant. 7.
That's what you did know.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, 7 is significant. Dear Mama, when your motherhood hits rough waters, it's tempting to retreat into a hard shell or beat yourself up.
Mm.
Come on, somebody.
Is it
If
getting
you
a little
out
close?
there, say amen. Come on. If you're on YouTube, put it in the comments. Amen. Come on.
Say it's tight, but it's right.
Say it's tight, but it's right. Come on. If I'm talking to you. Dear Mama, when your mothership hits rough waters, it's tempting to retreat into a hard shell or beat yourself up. Instead, soften. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Allow grace to be a constant companion. Lean into ease. Accept the moment for what it is and speak to yourself in love. Then open your heart to the lessons this moment was created to teach you.
I feel like I wrote that and I don't appreciate writing that.
You don't appreciate.
I don't appreciate
cards that you wrote.
3 years ago. Me,
you wrote.
Ain't have no business writing that.
So that
for
was
me today.
softened.
And 7's number of completion, divine completion.
Oh, look at NeKisha stepping up with the numbers. Look at NeKisha.
I can look up stuff fast. I can find the answer. Yes.
Okay.
Divine completion. Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense. And maybe, now is the time for us to soften instead of trying to put on a hard shell and act like we're not, going through a transition. So, but
Let's
that's
ask Reese about that. Let's ask her what she think about that.
About softening?
Mm-hmm. Let's see what she said.
What do you mean? Say more.
I feel like she's going to have an opinion on whether we should be softening right now. Or
oh no, I'm talking about just me and you with this DBM transition. I'm not talking about, girl, I'm not in the world. I'm of it, but not in it. So I'm here.
I got you, friend. Okay.
I'm in. Ooh, I said I'm of it, but not in it. That's wrong, y'all.
That
is wrong.
You said
that is the wrong quote. I'm in it, but not of it right now. Just right now.
I mean, it could go either way, really. For me.
No, NeKisha.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's not supposed to go. Is that in the Bible?
We attribute a lot of things to the Bible that's not in it. So who knows, really? Who knows? That's fine. Go ahead.
I don't know. Somebody let me know if that's in the Bible. I feel so terrible that I don't know if that's in the Bible. But I've heard a lot of pastors say it, a lot of black ones. So y'all let me know
everything.
Let me know in the comments if that's in the Bible. Be in the world, but not of it. That's in the Bible.
Okay.
Somebody said it. My money is on Jesus or Paul.
Let me research right quick.
NeKisha with the AI and Google. Don't do AI, just Google it. Okay.
John 17.
I was wrong. John said it. No, but did Jesus say it?
Jesus said it.
It's in the red writing. My money was on Jesus or Paul. Be in the world, but not of it. Okay, got it. Yeah, it's in the Bible. Sorry, ancestors. Okay,
I feel like I could be of the world, but not in it. But I got you. I feel like I can go either way. But go ahead.
Cannot go either way. Do not promote that. NeKisha cannot go either way.
What if it's like I can be of the streets, but I'm not in them? I'm not in the streets. You understand? Anyway.
Be of the world.
I feel like there's other ways to look at it.
Be of the world, but not in it. So like I'm from the streets, but I'm not in the streets.
That part. See?
Okay.
Interpretation.
Okay, you have a point. I can't lie. You have a point there. You do have a point there. I can't lie. That's a new sermon. NeKisha's going to write it up for us.
I'm going to put in my own translation of the Bible.
And put in her own translation. Check her Instagram, aha moment maven, for the sermon. We'll repost. We're so off track. NeKisha, this is usually me and Thea. I'm down the rabbit hole with you. Okay, let's get back on.
I laughed so hard I yanked my headphone out. Hold on, let me make sure I'm still here. Okay, you're here.
Okay, let's get back on.
That was a sign. I would not make my own translation of the Bible. I was kidding.
Let's get
back
on.
Sorry.
That's not a sign. We need the sermon. Check it out on Aha Moment Maven, her Instagram. She's going to do it in a slide deck. Okay. We're going to repost. Okay. Back on track. Okay. Focus. But that's from our Black Woman Magic card deck, which is always available. You can get those. I think we have about 15 left. So if y'all want to get one, that helps us keep the lights on. we would show appreciate it if y'all got one of those. Look at that. My makeup was a little bit messed up. Okay. So now we're going to move on to our ancestor quote. And our ancestor quote for this episode is from Audre Lorde, her essay, Lessons from the 60s. And the ancestor quote is, survival is not a theory. Let me tell you why I chose that. Because whatever theories you had, whatever theories you came up with, whatever theories you learned, it's time to put them into practice so that we can survive. Now, what we're seeing in the world, if you know your history, it's not new. But to see it live is new to some of us. So all that knowledge, put it into practice. And I think this is not only a good ancestor quote, survival is not a theory. It's time for us to practice. Well, she just said survival is not a theory. But I think the essay, Lessons from the 60s, is so relevant right now. What she shares in this essay can be applied right now. She's sharing the lessons that she learned. We can apply those lessons. Our ancestors left us so much. That's why we do an ancestor quote for every single episode. We should probably start with the ancestor quote to kind of honor the ancestors instead of our own words. So I'll switch that in the future. But anyway, our ancestors left us so much, and we share an ancestor quote to remind people that we have a blueprint, and if it can't be a blueprint in these times, it can at least be a jumping off point for us. It can be a starting point that we can build on and evolve from. So that's our ancestor quote for this episode. So you ready to move into church announcements, praise reports, and prayer list requests?
I am.
Okay. All right. Let's hit it. You want to go first?
I do. I don't have anything coming up in the next few weeks. So I'm still laying low, working on projects that are more local in nature. And so I ask that you continue to, my Melanated Memory Atlas looks toward its 5th anniversary.
This is 5 years, NeKisha?
I don't even know how.
Oh,
yes.
Oshun. That's the Oshun number 5. Oh, it's going to be a good year. It's going to be it's going to be golden.
I received that.
It's going to be golden. Yeah, exciting.
So as we look toward our 5th year, I'm really sitting in gratitude and listening for what the next chapters, what does the next iteration of my work look like? And so, I love that. That's a significant number.
5 is Oshun. Yeah.
Yes. So that's it.
Okay. Well, I got 3 solid announcements. So here we go. Okay, people. So for those of you who know, for those of you who don't know, every Wednesday on Instagram, we do Black Birth Worker Wednesday, and it's to highlight Black maternal health. Black maternal health is very important to both of us. NeKisha is an IBCLC. I got that right. In the beginning, girl, that was a struggle for me. I would be IB, ABC,
You got it, friend.
But I got it right now. I'm in there. I'm also a doula that is going back into practice. I'll be accepting clients soon. Yeah. Going back into practice. Yeah. If you're in South Carolina, email me if you're looking for a doula. Because if I can't help you, I know somebody who can. Anyway, on Instagram, we do Black Birth Worker Wednesday to highlight Black maternal health. It's a huge part of our work. We're partners with Black Mama Matters Alliance. So we're taking that to another level. So once a month, we'll go live on YouTube, and at 7 p.m., the first Wednesday of the month at 7 p.m., we'll be doing, I love this title.
Drum roll.
If I do say so myself. Oh, yes, drum roll. It's called We Are the Ones, the good news in Black motherhood and Black maternal health. So we'll be talking about the good news, about who's doing the work. We won't ignore some of the traumas and tragedies that are going on, but we'll also talk about the responses to those traumas and tragedies. So often with Black maternal health, we leave it at death. We leave it at death and we leave it at the trauma. And there are people who are really, really out here doing some really, really good work around Black maternal health. We'll be talking about all facets of the work, from arts to hands-on. So I'm really excited about that. Come on over to YouTube if you all want to talk to us directly. That's a great way to interact with us directly. If you have some good news that you want to share, you can put it in our YouTube comments, or you can email us at magic@dimblackmamas.com. That's magic@dimblackmamas.com, and tell us about the good news in Black maternal health. Even if I had a healthy baby,
that's
had
great
a joyous birth, even if it's just That is the good news in Black maternal health. So we're really, really excited about that. The next thing is Black Maternal Health Week is coming up April 11th through April 17th. If you don't know already, the theme is Rooted in Joy and Justice. Black Maternal Health Week was founded by Black Women Matters Alliance, and we're partners with them. So we wanted to uplift that, and we'll be talking more about what we'll be doing during that week. Our episode for that week that will be coming out will be about postpartum and returning to work. And we'll be doing an episode with Raising Resilience. And it's two therapists who, that's their work. They work with mothers who are postpartum and support mothers. So excited about that. And last, now this is the big announcement. So Black Woman Creative Week is coming up last 7 days of June, the 24th through the 30th. And our theme for Black Mama Creative Week this year is... I was waiting for the drum roll. Okay.
I missed my cue. I was busy here waiting on the announcement.
She's drinking beat-ass water. Okay. Our theme for Black Mama Creative Week 2026 is the weight and wonder of Black motherhood. So excited about that theme. We'll talk about events coming up, but save the dates. The June 24th through June 30th, the last 7 days of June, Black Mama Creative Week 2026. Our theme is the weight and wonder of Black motherhood.
I love a good alliteration. I love it.
You know, as Black people, I just think it's natural for us, the alliteration. I love alliteration too. Black Mama Creative Week is about celebrating the creativity and ingenuity of Black motherhood, and about celebrating Black Mama creatives, Black Mama innovators. And our mantra for this podcast is motherhood is not the graveyard of dreams. And so we really, really focus that week on Black motherhood not being an experience of sacrifice and nailing yourself to the cross and receiving love or tying our worth to what we do instead of who we be and who we are, and really, really tapping into that. So excited about that. So those are all my announcements. Now I have a praise report.
Spill it.
If you have not watched His and Hers, I don't know what to tell you.
You're missing out.
You just may want to skip over this part. I don't know how long it's going to be. I just want to give a praise report about the ending of that series.
Ooh.
Spoiler alert, I have never been so happy.
What is the actress's name?
Satisfied and say the Black Mama did it. I'm so proud. I'm so
Crystal
very proud.
Fox. That's her name.
I'm so very proud of Crystal Fox's performance. I'm so very proud to say the Black Mama did it. And I've also been wondering, what is her zodiac sign?
They didn't speak to that, but that's a great question.
I do feel like it's a mixture of you and I. I feel like Aries and Scorpio are rolling around in there somewhere.
Definitely be a Scorpio.
But I just want to give a praise report to that series. That's how I felt.
Yeah. It was great. It was well done.
It was
I
great.
think you put me on. You put me on, right?
Okay.
Yes. And then we put Thea on.
Okay.
Honey.
Listen.
I sat and binge watched the whole thing in one setting, one weekend.
Listen, that's just how I felt. I don't have words to describe how I felt. All I have is sounds.
It just felt redeemed.
It felt redeemed. It felt redeemed. I felt so satisfied and just purely satiated. I don't think I felt that satisfied since I saw Joffrey die in Game of Thrones.
Well, when that was very satisfying.
I was like,
that was fantastic. I need to rewatch that, actually. That was really, really good.
Or when old girl said, "Tell Cersei it was me."
Honey.
Tell Cersei. That's how I felt.
Had some great lines.
It did. That's how I felt. Like when she was reading the letter, it gave.
It did.
Let him know it was me.
It did.
Let him know it was me. Yeah. It was really, really good. So that is my
Mhm.
praise report. You should watch it. I'm sorry if I gave the spoiler alert, but
You warned them. You
I
told them
warned
to fast
you.
forward it.
If you fast forward,
Yeah. Because you
watch
can't,
it.
now you
Watch
can't
it.
watch. If you didn't heed the warning, it's ruined for you. It really
It's ruined
is.
for you.
'Cause
And I don't know if you'll feel satiated. I know I rewatched it and I felt satisfied all over again.
It's so funny.
I felt so you might, I don't know. I don't know. You might even just be looking more forward to it. But the way that it unfolds is also beautiful too. Like the way that we find out is very satisfying as well.
I saw some guy say he figured it out, and I was like, "You a lie. You a whole lie. You didn't figure it out."
I don't see how you could have figured it out, except that because there was one point where I was like, "Is it the mom?" I wasn't like, "Is it the mama?" But it did cross my mind that she was disappearing on nights when these things happen. That did cross my mind. But I just, I mean, and this is also the sad part. Now, this is kind of a sad part. Now I feel like people who know people who have dementia they're going to be looking at them like,
yeah.
do you really, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's kind of the sad part. But
don't do that. Don't do. Your relative probably
yeah.
Is
yeah. They're not trying to
going
offend you. Just think about your life. They're not, okay?
Have you been living right? That's what I would like. I would ask. Have you been living right? Because you may be the. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So.
But it did cross my mind. But I was just like, I just didn't. I just thought there's no way. You know what I'm saying? Because she was playing the part so well when she put the eggshells in the eggs. I was like, oh, bless it. Bless it. So
she did amazing. She did.
She did amazing. She did amazing. It's Crystal Fox and Tessa Thompson and a bunch of white people. I don't know them.
I've really got to get better at this because there were several times when the guy, videographer, came on the screen and I was like, is he a new character? Do we know him? I just.
Am I good? I think I'm better with people on TV than I am with people in real life. In real life, I think I'm not good when it comes to white people. I'm like, is that Susan?
I am not admitting this because I have money to make. However,
the white people are going to love you even more if you admit it, NeKisha. I wish you would trust me on this. They'll love you even more.
Well,
yeah.
Okay. Hey. Yeah. Maybe that's my new.
They do.
My new.
They'll be like, oh, I want that one, the blackest one. Give me her. Give me the blackest one, so that I can tell my friends. My friend is the black. My black friend is the blackest friend.
Oh my God! Today
ever. They want the blackest version. They want
we're off the rails.
Friend.
We're off the rails. We're off the rails.
Okay, we're off the rails. But I'm just saying. People chime in. Let me know. Do white people want the blackest friend? Let me know, people. Am I wrong? Let me know.
I'm not talking about friends. I'm talking about contracts. Okay?
Do white people want the blackest person for contracts and friends? Let me know, people. Am I wrong? Let me know. I'm not letting
Crystal. I'm not letting Crystal mess up my money this year. I'm not letting her do it. Okay.
I'm telling you, be black. Okay. So that's it for our church announcement, praise reports, and prayer list requests. Okay, so that's all we got for that. So for every episode, I want to remind you all that we have a playlist for every episode. It's about 5 songs that reflect the episode. So check that out. There's a link for that wherever you're listening. And we also have a syllabus to combat misinformation and disinformation. We have links that are books, videos, organizations that can expand your knowledge of what we're talking about or to back up what we're talking about. We're not just talking out of our ass. That's what I want y'all to know. And I just don't want to be someone out here on a podcast mic. I take the fact that we have a platform and that people support it very seriously. And so I want to be a good steward over that platform and I want to honor it. So we have a show syllabus. So be sure to check that out and sign up for our newsletter. That's the easiest way to keep up with what's going on with us because this podcast comes out twice a month. Our newsletter, we're in February now, will be coming out once a week. So be sure you're signed up for that. And that link is available wherever you're listening. If you're watching on YouTube, don't just look. Hit the button. I think it's
do
like
all
right
the
here.
things. Subscribe.
And then hit that little bell and it'll tell you when we have a new video up. So do that so you don't miss a moment of the magic. Finally, share this episode with at least one person, because sharing is not only caring, sharing is how and why we build community. So we're going to roll into this mac and cheese with Reecie Colbert, and we're talking about electoral politics and Black motherhood. Let's get
Stick around. Stick around.
Hey everyone, we're back with our mac and cheese segment, which is the juiciest part of our show, and it's going to be juicy today. So we have, like, she's a fave. I mean, she's a fave. I mean, like I said in the earlier, you know, I love her because I feel like she fusses and cusses, and I appreciate that. And she does it in like a way that really like hits home. Like, she uses the curse words precisely. So I really appreciate that. So we have Reecie Colbert here with us today.
Hey, y'all.
Welcome to the Black Woman Magic Room. Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
And we're going to start off like we do whenever we have a guest. We love to read the bios of our guests because we feel like so many times we're working, Black women are working, that they don't realize like what they've been doing. And so we like to put that out into the universe. We like to make sure that that's documented, especially in this day and time.
Yeah.
Especially in this day and time.
That's real.
Okay, so here we go. Reecie Colbert, dynamic SiriusXM radio host, best-selling author, fearless advocate, captivating speaker, and esteemed Democratic political strategist. With her signature unbossed and unfiltered delivery, Colbert empowers audiences as she demystifies complex topics and debunks disinformation, a service sorely needed in our contemporary social-political landscape. A central figure in national politics, Reecie's multifaceted career sees her covering White House events as a credentialed press and moderating influential panels with the country's top mayors, unwilling to be pigeonholed. Her rich content encompasses hard-hitting political commentary and entertaining pop culture insights. Yes, I just heard you go off on Nicki Minaj and Kanye West. This is facts.
It was necessary.
Extending her reach from interviewing prominent figures like Sar Jones, the Governor Westmore, to hosting, that's one of NeKisha's faves, to hosting the
business.
Yeah, I mean, it is. She pauses every time he's on TV.
I'm just listening intently. I'm listening to what the man has to say. Go ahead.
Yes. Okay. Fair. The Reecie Colbert Show, a live call-in talk show focusing on politics and culture. Congratulations on 3 years. Congratulations. Since her debut on SiriusXM Clay Cane's show in 2020, Reecie has quickly climbed the ladder, graduating from guest appearances to official contributor and fill-in host by 2022. By 2023, she debuted her own live radio call-in show, a platform dedicated to discussions on politics and culture. Moreover, she frequently graces national cable networks like MSNBC, Cheddar TV, Revolt TV, News Nation, and Roland Martin Unfiltered on Black Star Network, where she continues to share her expert takes on politics and culture. Reecie's writing prowess is exemplified in her Amazon best-selling book series, The Long and Short of It, Guide to the 2022 Midterms. Furthermore, as a seasoned White House press pooler, her thought-provoking articles featured in platforms like Mediate and The Griot. Renowned for her public speaking, Reecie enlightens audiences on an array of topics, including leadership, politics, media, current affairs, and disinformation. And she is a UCLA and Northwestern alumnus. Reecie lives in Washington, D.C. area with her husband and daughter. And I would like to add, are you from LA?
Well, I was raised in LA, so I very much give county.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, you do. Yes,
Hard
you do.
R's. Hard R's. Hard R's. Yeah.
I love it.
I would like to add that Reecie is an LA girly, a concert connoisseur, and the First Lady of Upper Marlboro. Welcome to the Mothership. Thanks for coming inside the Black Woman Magic Room with us.
It is my honor to be here. I should have gave y'all the short version of it because that was the extended.
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am. We don't do that. I would have looked up the longer version.
We want to
We
tell
liked
the
it.
people.
Those are your
all.
receipts. Those are your
That's true.
receipts.
Yeah,
Those are your
yeah.
receipts. When we have a conversation with a guest, we like to start with this question. where were you 10 years ago? And did you think you'd be where you are right now?
Okay, so 10 years ago, I was actually, I was living in Chicago still, and I was planning to move to the DMV area with my boyfriend. I ain't have a ring on it yet, but I had faith for mustard seed, child. So I was living in Chicago. Me and my sister, we lived together. We had a condo. Obviously it was the election year. It was Trump v. Hillary Clinton. And it was still the Obama era. So there was still, a little bit of carefreeness, hope, change, all the things. And I absolutely could not have fathomed where I am right now. No, not even close. Not even close. Now, I will say, as a child, it was my dream to be a talk show host.
Oh,
I never did anything to step toward it. I didn't major in journalism. I was a business economics major and accounting minor. So it wasn't like something I thought would happen. It was just a dream of mine. I loved me some Oprah and Ricky Lake and Jenny Jones and Montel Williams, all the things. So no, I could not have imagined that 10 years later, I would be sitting here celebrating 3 years of my own talk show, as well as all the things that I've done in the media space. But I also couldn't have imagined the country being in the state it is too. But now I would have hoped that I would be married with a child by now. So I did check mark that, and other things. But but in terms of being known to the public and all the things, I didn't see it coming.
But the move from Chicago to DC
it
worked
did.
out.
It definitely did.
That was a good bet. That was a good bet.
Yeah.
That was a good bet. So did Twitter really change things for you? Like was it really Twitter, or were you doing other things in the space? Because I came to know you through Twitter and combating the disinformation about Kamala Harris. What was it? The 2020 election?
2019.
Yeah.
So I started my page Black Women Views in 2018 on Instagram, and I didn't have a Twitter at the time. And so I think I had Instagram, and I probably had I had Facebook, Instagram, because those are integrated, and then I had YouTube. And I was doing like TV show recaps, but then I also did politics. Even me and my husband, we had a segment called Y'all's President. So we taped an episode or two together in our living room. And so I was doing politics and entertainment. And I really was very deliberate about wanting to curate and create a space where we could do both. Because a lot of times as Black women, they feel like, oh, if you like loving hip hop, you ratchet, nobody want to hear what you have to say. They feel like we have to be one or the other. And I didn't want us to choose.
I just got finished telling a friend that Tuesdays are for Tammy Roman. I watch
balance.
That shit is amazing.
I love her.
She hits it every time. Every time. I just watch to see how is she gonna get in. Hi, I'm Tammy Roman, and you're on Cognac. She hits it every time. She gets it in a different way. Yeah, so that's totally not true.
So I wanted to create a multifaceted space. And then, but what ended up happening for a period of time, it's kind of a little bit more back there, is that I came to really be the encyclopedia on Kamala Harris and the defender-in-chief of Kamala Harris, because there really was this organized disinformation campaign around her. And at the time, I hadn't called it that. I didn't know that that's what was happening when I started. But that's what blew up, because there was really an absence in that space. I think you can probably remember, you didn't have a lot of prominent Black women who were coming to her defense.
No.
It was more like, this is not an endorsement and all the things, And so there wasn't really a lot of people who were defending her record and correcting the record. There were people who were saying, well, it doesn't really matter, or even if she did these things. And I'm like, but she did it. So long story long, that is how a lot of people came to know me in 2019, 2020. And to this day, a lot of people still know me for that. But thankfully, that's not the entirety of my media career. And, people, I have a whole separate, I don't want to say following, but I have a whole separate community of people who come to know me and love me just for Reecie, not necessarily just Reecie with the receipts, or Reecie who's a Kamala supporter, but Reecie who who's going to be a fierce defender of all things Black women and Black people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do remember at that time the New York Times piece about Kamala Harris specifically, especially because it centered around, it was really, and like you said, we didn't know at the time that it was disinformation, but it was centered around a policy that had been misused. But the piece, it was like a hit piece.
100%.
It was basically, it was basically like a hit piece. And it really struck when Nikki Haley began to run, because I'm in South Carolina, and I was waiting on the article about Nikki Haley closing down rape crisis centers in South Carolina, and Nikki Haley not accepting Medicaid expansion, which caused a lot of people in South Carolina who are HIV positive and living with AIDS not to get their medication. But it never came. And so those two things always kind of stood out to me in that time. But as you said, I didn't think of it as disinformation.
Yeah. So you're probably talking about the Lara Bazelon piece. And I remember, so that came out before she even announced. And so that was the basis through which many hit pieces were spawned. And unfortunately, Kamala didn't really do a good job at all of combating any of it. But I think there's still a certain part of Democrats that feel like they can organically push back against disinformation, or that they can kind of pivot or change the subject. And they don't really see how you have to attack it, and you have to invest in attacking it. But with that particular piece, I actually did a video. I never published it. And I did point by point. I went point by point in it. The challenge with why some of that disinformation was so effective was because it was laced with a little bit of truth to it. So once you get into, they have the saying, if you're explaining, you're losing. So once you say, well, okay, so this is what had happened. It this and then that, and you know what I'm saying?
It's over.
Bye. Because you have 15 seconds tops. You got 6 seconds for probably 90% of your audience. And then for 15 seconds, you probably have 60%. So 20-minute video of okay, this is technicality, and I was like, you know what? This is not a winning argument. So I never did publish it, but I had it. I filmed it. I had all my receipts. I could debunk it. And then there were some things, now mind you, I did all this on my own. It wasn't like there was a Kamala person was like, girl, okay, here you go. Come. So I had to research and independently find all these things. And that's why nobody could really touch me when it comes to her record, because it's like, what I know, y'all don't even come close to it. And if you're just going off of what you read in that New York Times article or this, then you're really out of your league. But, that was a different time. And honestly, all that work that I did, once she became the vice presidential nominee, nobody even gave a damn. They was like, okay, moving on. We got our checks and our pearls and whatever, So it was kind of like, that's old news, but there was a battle royale about these things. And it's kind of the same thing where, we're looking at it right now with Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and State Representative James Tallarico. All of a sudden, Israel is a red line. Like, you can't have ever voted, said nothing. And then because they thought they had that gotcha with her, like, oh, this is where we're going to get her. And then when James Tallarico, they had the picture of him at APEC, conferences and stuff. And he came out and said, then all of a sudden, oh, we don't care about that no more. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
So political winds shift. And sometimes you're fighting for your life to try to disprove really bad faith arguments that people are making.
What drove your passion? Like what drove that in you to have the desire to do that?
I'm a Libra, so I believe in justice. The scales of justice have to be balanced. And seeing how unfair it was, number one, that Kamala in particular was being attacked, that was unfair. And seeing how organized and massive the campaign was, I remember what really drove me to be like, okay, stop fighting in the comments and make videos. Because at first I was just like debunking stuff, and I would like, okay, let me put it in a note. Start off as a Samsung Note, okay? And I had it because I was having the same arguments over and over again. And then I said, no, you know what? You have to make a video. So then I started making videos debunking things. The first one was the whole lab scandal, the Deborah Madden or McMadden or McFadden. I forget what it was now. And so that was the first video that I made to kind of debunk, things that I had been hearing. So it was just a sense of unfairness that I just felt like this is not fair. And I don't like this Black woman being attacked on things that are not true. And that's really what animates a lot of what I do, And I even said, I was like, 2026, y'all on your own. I'm not going to be defender in chief no more. Y'all can find somebody else to do it, because it's as hard as I've gone for people, there's still a part of what I do that gets taken for granted, that gets plagiarized, stolen, Columbus, repackaged. And other people benefit so much from the work that I put out. And there are politicians themselves that have benefited from me changing the narrative. And I'm not trying to be boastful here, but I have moved the needle.
No, but this is accurate because I have a follow-up question for this because what you're saying is true.
I've moved the needle in a lot of ways. Not because anybody ever paid me to do it, which some people were like, well, you a dumbass for not getting paid, okay? But I've done a lot of work, and I think that unfortunately, when you are effective and when you do things, and you do things like what I've done from the heart and out of a sense of justice, people don't appreciate it. The community that I built appreciates it, but some of the main beneficiaries don't appreciate it. And so for that reason, I've said, I'm not going to be that girl that's got my neck out taking the chops. Now I can chop back, but now I'm trying to balance that Libra. I'm trying to balance more of like, yes, I have a sense of justice. Yes, I have a sense of this has to be addressed. This cannot go unanswered. But at the same time, what about me? Like, where's my protection? Where's the appreciation that I get? Who's acknowledging that? Who, when they have the opportunity to speak my name or to pour into me or to do anything, do they do that? Or do they be like, thank you for your services, goodbye? So that's what I'm learning to reorient how I respond and when I respond. So that's kind of the biggest lesson I've had to learn from all these years of jumping out into the flame because of justice.
Yeah, because you're a Black woman too. You know what I mean? Like, you're out there, you're putting your neck out, you're putting yourself on the line, especially in today's climate, for these Black women to defend these Black women. And you're a Black woman too who needs that reciprocated.
Absolutely.
But number one, you and your husband should definitely go back to the podcast, Y'all's President. That needs to be done.
I love that.
I don't care who is the president. Y'all need a podcast called Y'all's President.
Y'all's President.
You need get on that. But secondly, and I'm just going, this is Dem Black Mamas, and we're like really blunt, and
go ahead, babe.
We don't pull no punches. You don't have to answer this question if you don't want to. I could just edit it out. But I felt a type of way that Kamala did not come on SiriusXM. I understand she had 107 days, but she did a lot of work. We did an episode about her book. She did a lot of work to try to get on
but Joe Rogan and all them.
I don't like to speak the name of this white news podcast. And so I felt a type of way. I felt a type of way. And so I want to know, did you feel a type of? I mean, I would listen to you and Clay Kane because you all were my saving grace, and you all kept it cute. You all really kept it cute.
Keep it cute.
And I can appreciate that.
Well,
but
I never felt entitled to have her come on my show. I never felt like,
is that entitled though, Reecie?
Well, I didn't feel like it was an automatic. Let me put it this way. I didn't feel like it was automatic.
Okay.
And I actually can completely understand not coming on my show. So I have grace for that. And I don't have an ego about the fact that she never did my show. She didn't do serious other shows as well. But I think there's a way to honor the fact that, wow, you know, you've built something from the ground up and you're on this massive platform and you are selling out tours with Clay Kane and you've had books and, you know, C-SPAN 45 minutes with people all anti-Kamala. They was on her ass, right? So I think there's a way to, even if you can't do something, just honor that. But you know, that didn't happen, and that's okay. The show must go on. The Reecie Colbert show had a whole nother ass year, right?
I love that for you. I love that for you. Yeah.
It's look, it's true. Like I'm still here. Like the Reecie Colbert show.
I love that for you.
So it's like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm
the event.
She's a
the
Libra.
Reecie Colbert show is the Reecie Colbert show. It don't matter who's on it, who's not on it. Nobody's like, oh man, I would have tuned in.
Okay.
So I didn't have an issue with it. It would have been nice to have at least been honored in some small way. But that wasn't what they felt the need to do, and I didn't have a conversation with her personally. So it wasn't like she was like, girl, go to hell personally. But, you know, I think that what long term probably distinguishes people kind of supporting you as a movement versus supporting you as a moment is how you cultivate and take care of those around you and how you reach back and how you keep people by your side. And I think that there are people that do that better than others. And that
I'm picking up what you're putting down,
I'm just saying,
sis.
there's some people that do that better than others. And you know, so it is what it is.
Would you do it? Would you do it again? Would you do it again?
Would I do it again? I would say this. I won't be doing it again for anybody.
I heard that.
Would I do what I did in the moment? What was necessary? Absolutely. I did 2024 understanding the assignment. I was
that's valid. Yeah.
Snubbed a lot during 2024. A lot. And I still showed up. You know.
You said that you understood why. Can you explain to me?
Oh, wait, in terms of not doing my show or?
In terms of not doing your show. You say you understand why.
Because look, I don't think it was that big of a deal, to be honest. Like, it wasn't that big of a deal. She didn't do it, you know, whatever. You know, you got other stuff going on. So for the calculations, the political calculations that were made, I didn't think it was really that big of a deal. You know, I don't think it would have made necessarily the entire difference. Maybe it would have picked up a couple votes here because you needed more blacks on your side. So maybe it would have picked up a couple more people. But it really wasn't that big of a deal, you know? It wasn't.
Oh, wow. It was a big deal to me.
It was.
Oh, Reese, I was, the whole 107 days, I was like, for sure, she's going to do SiriusX. She's going to do Urban View. She's going to do, I would be shocked if she doesn't do Clay and Reese's show, but she's going to do something on Urban View for sure. And I was, it was a big deal to me.
Oh, wow.
And I felt like, you know, I'm not a political strategist, you know what I'm saying? But I'm a political junkie. And I felt like, it was a bad move. And I felt like Obama would have did that shit.
Now I would have loved to have been Reecie Colbert show when Obama was around.
I felt like Obama would have like made that shit happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, say what you will about his, you know, policies or whatever, but like a campaigner?
Yeah.
Like,
well, I would say this. I didn't press it. It wasn't like I pitched and did all these things. It was like, oh, you should have come on my show. And the response that I got, I was like, okay. But, you know, the thing about my show is mine. So that's why, for me personally, it wasn't as big of a deal because it's the Reecie Colbert show and people are tuned in.
Right.
And
right.
so
no matter what,
nobody is doing me a favor, in my view. So it wasn't like, okay, well, that's fine. Like, the show went on every Saturday I was on. Hello, the Reecie Colbert show, you know, so, but I do, you know, but I guess there is part of me that I don't necessarily let stuff sink in as much And I just I
Mhm.
didn't want to sit in that space at that
Right.
time.
I get that.
And what the
Yeah.
assignment was preventing all this shit. So I just did what I had to do.
That
I
was
did what I had to
bigger.
do. But it's
Yeah.
in terms of
Yeah.
future efforts, yeah. But it was
Yeah.
a great
Yeah.
lesson because my career is still relatively young. You know, I've been on SiriusXM for now. This is going into my 6th year. Rolling the same thing. And so I still have a long way to go. Like this year is about
Yeah.
me, you know, and I know we got the country and shit. Okay, cool. But this year is about me and my family and what I need to build for me. And so I said it on Threads the other day. Thank you for overlooking me in advance. I'm thanking everybody in advance who overlooks me because they're overlooking me for free labor, for shit that I don't need to do, that don't necessarily really help me, but it helps them. So thank you in advance because this year is really about focusing on me. And I think that I have more power than sometimes I give myself credit for, and people recognize it. And they'll recognize when I'm like sipping my tea, like, oh, okay, that sucks. Are they saying that? Oh, okay. But nobody is getting what I did in the past. Nobody is getting
Yeah.
it. Unless you pay me, you're not getting that. And that's a very, very
Yeah.
hefty price because I think what I contributed, I don't know if you can put a dollar sign on that. So, but you're going to have to start somewhere. It's not going to be for free. I do know that much.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love that is your perspective. Listen, I'm a Scorpio, so I just be over there pissed off still. Okay. So I can respect
Yeah.
that you are able to look at this with such maturity. You know, I'm sure in the moment it didn't feel like it does now, but you're able to look back on it and say, you know what?
And
all of that led to this. And I'm okay with it.
Like,
yeah.
You know, y'all know. I'm like,
yeah.
But see, I addressed it in that moment. What I got, I addressed it, and then we're done. That's it. You know, so it wasn't like one of those things where I have to look back and be like, oh, you should have said, well, no, I said what I needed to say with the energy that I got. I matched, or maybe I didn't quite match. I might have taken it up a little bit, but at the end of the day, I'm still here.
This makes me think about messaging and something when it comes to campaigns, right? So, you know, we've all seen the numbers. We know that Black women are the base of the Democratic Party. We vote more consistently for Democrats than anybody else, right? And so during the campaign and doing a lot of campaigns, I was really shocked at the targeted campaign for married white women. Like, I was like, well, first of all, I was like, are they really afraid to vote against their husbands?
Girl.
Like, I just don't believe that. I don't believe that they are these. I've seen too many movies from enslavement. It's about 10. I've seen them all. But I know too much. I've read too much history to believe that they are just these damsels in distress who go into the voting booth and they're just afraid to vote opposite of what their husbands are voting for. So it was hard for me to buy, but I'm not saying it's not true. It's just hard for me to buy. As a Black woman living in the belly of the beast, born in the belly of the beast, which is the South, right? And so when I saw that targeted campaign, I saw a targeted campaign for Black men. And I feel like so when I see your facial expressions are this is an episode. If y'all are not on YouTube, please get on YouTube so you can see her facial expressions.
I can't. I can't, and I don't try to hide them.
And even if you look at economics, right? If you look at economics, like Black women, Black mothers, like we drive the economics in our communities and oftentimes in our households, right? And so I feel like in terms of messaging, and maybe you can help me out on this, like Julia Roberts doing a voiceover in that ad, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me.
I don't know what ad was that. You're not talking about the white woman.
It was an ad.
Right?
it was a white woman ad. It's an ad where this white woman and her husband, I have the link in our show notes if I can find it.
I need to see that.
But it's an ad where this white woman and her husband walk into the polling place.
So I did see that.
And she's nervous and all this stuff. And then Julia Roberts comes on and it's like, she said, I forgot what she says, but in the end, she's like, no one knows, who you vote for. Well, I guess my question to you is it a missed opportunity not to specifically target Black mothers? And to Kamala's credit, she has done a lot around Black maternal health.
Yes.
I will say that. But Black women are also like the largest growing number of entrepreneurs in the country. We go to college, at a really high rate. So when you're talking about student loan and student debt or access to college and things like that, and there are a plethora of other things like, when you talk about childcare or family paid leave, the face of that is often white women, right? I just don't see that targeted campaign. Like, I felt like there was an agenda for everybody except us. And so I'm just wondering, is it because we vote so consistently that it's like, we ain't got to worry about them.
We got them.
Yeah.
We got them on lock. Or is it a waste to go after these white women? I mean, I guess, the number shifted a little bit for college educated white women who voted or whatever, but
just
is it a waste to go after them, or is it good strategy to ignore the people who you have on lock?
Well, I don't think it's a waste to go after anybody. Republicans understand that. They micro-target their audiences. They, what we see is totally different than what anybody see. How Republicans micro-target us is they have the shade room post that Joe Biden is going to pay for crack pipes. That's how they target us. You know what I'm saying? Or they trafficked migrants to Chicago and to New York City, and then they said, "Oh, we giving them food stamps and all kind of stuff." So they have a very, very, very comprehensive and relentless way of micro targeting. They don't say "Come vote for me, Republicans." They don't say that. They do shit that make you want to be like, "I ain't voting at all." That's how they target us. We're the dissuasion audience. And then to some degree, they've started to try to do conversion, and they had some success with that. And you listening to Clay and I, then Urban View, then you might remember I was very, very clear on what my theory of this election was, that it was going to be a turnout election. It's going to be a base election.
Yeah, you said that a number of times.
I
you said it a number of times.
Number one, you have to say Black at the DNC. Didn't happen. And I said you had to say Black at the debate. That was your other opportunity. Also didn't happen. And I think what they misread is, yes, 92%, yes, Black woman, da-da-da-da-da-da. But the number one attack on Kamala Harris, this goes back to 2019. There was data about this, and I was screaming it from the rooftops, was that Kamala Harris was not Black. It was her race. And because they know the power of racial solidarity and what that did for Barack Obama, which, as Clay points out all the time, that was the first time where Black turnout exceeded white turnout. And so this was a racial election. And I think that people, unfortunately, only took away that this was racism and sexism without acknowledging or recognizing that she did not run a campaign steeped in the fact that I'm a Black woman and I'm going to make history as a Black woman. And so it was a missed opportunity to challenge the number one thing that she was attacked on. They played the long game with this. And so you didn't see that enthusiasm. It was there the first couple of weeks, but then it completely waned. But then the other thing, I think, part of that calculation was that, okay, all the polling before Kamala even became the nominee, even with Biden, Democrats were struggling with Black men. And so you're struggling with Black men, and you think that white women are going to be the saving grace. Same thing Hillary Clinton ran. Did she think, oh, they're going to grab them by the pussy, they're going to be upset. So those are the two things that you think are your biggest issues, when really your biggest issue is race, that people don't think you're Black. And so, all right, Black men, their calculation. This is my take on it. Nobody has told me this, but this is how I'm pretty good at reading things. they felt probably, or it appeared, there seemed to be sentiments around kind of resenting that Black women are always centered, and what about Black men and all these things. And so
I got a question for you on that. Yes. So go. Yes. You're segueing and you don't even know you're
Okay.
segging. But okay, but
so
yeah.
if you want to grab Black men, you have to target them. So Black men's agenda, cool, that's cool. But if you also then have a Black women's agenda, then I'm thinking this is the calculation. Now, is it true? I don't believe that it's true. But I think that that's the calculation, that we have to make Black men feel like they have something for them. And we kind of have to kind of have the Black women part step back a little bit, so that it doesn't detract away from the fact, look, Black men, you matter. We care about you. We're giving something special for you. And so I do think that Black women were de-emphasized. And I think that was a political strategy, because you got white women who were intimidated by Black women, and then you got Black men who were resentful. I'm not saying this is what the reality was of how they truly felt in terms of Black men felt this way or white women felt this way. I'm saying the political calculus and the political interpretation of the moment were those two things. And that's why we saw Black women heavily de-emphasized as a campaign strategy. Now, we were at the forefront, 40,000 Black women, and then it was white men for Kamala, cats for Kamala, and all kind of shit, you know?
Yeah.
So we put ourselves at the forefront, but I don't think that the campaign wanted to do that. And I think that was a mistake. And I said as much over and over again.
You did.
And people dragged the shit out of me over and over again, and I didn't care.
Well, I do disagree about her saying she's Black, because I feel like she said it in her, book. And I felt like, here's my thing. I'm just going to keep it 100. I felt the type of way that I felt like if she were married to a Black man and had Black kids, she wouldn't have to say she Black.
But Barack Obama said he was Black. And he was married to a Black woman.
But he was asked specifically, though.
He emphasized his Blackness. Y'all may not remember it as much, but I'm telling you, Barack Obama was very clear.
How do you feel like he emphasized his Blackness?
He leaned in to being a Black man, being historic. He leaned all the way into that. He did not... He didn't play the... He didn't talk... He also said, I got a white mama and a granddaddy from Kansas and all. But I'm saying, I think if we... It feels more distant now, but I feel like if you really think about those big moments in Barack Obama's campaign, that word Black was very clear at all times. And if you think back to Kamala's campaign announcement at Howard, and they said, "What are you?" and she said, "American." And then...
I don't remember that. Yes. I did not see that. Oh, what?
And then she got on CNN.
I didn't.
And this is 2019. I'm day one. And she got on CNN, and Anderson Cooper said, "What are you?" Again, Black. She said American. She had a long explanation. And I made a video.
I got you.
I made a video. And I said, Kamala, girl, you got to get this Black shit together, because Black people are not going to trust you if you don't say Black.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Barack Obama was not painted as not being Black. He was painted as a Muslim terrorist, all kind. He did all that shit. But there was a years-long disinformation campaign about Kamala. So it's not about, oh, I'm so proud I'm Black and how dare you. You got to set that aside. You have to tackle the same thing we talked about with that Laura Bazelon piece. You got to tackle what's out there about you. It doesn't just speak for itself. It's not self-evident to people. So that was the point that I was trying to make. And to this day,
got it.
You can see, go to any video that her identity is addressed, and you're going to say, she ain't Black, that Indian woman, da-da-da-da-da-da. You'll see that all up and through there.
Yeah, because when Barack was directly asked, I remember in a debate, like this was early in the debate, he was like, "What are you?" He was like, "I'm a Black man." Like he didn't pull any punches about it. But I do think being married to a Black woman,
absolutely, that helped.
Like
Michelle, not just Michelle, but Michelle from the South Side of Chicago. I think that helped, a great deal.
Here's the thing. everybody doesn't read books. Everybody doesn't do this. When you have the largest audiences that you'll have, the DNC and the debate, I wasn't saying going around saying I'm black and I'm proud. And I wasn't saying that, but I'm saying when you're introducing yourself and everybody, I was there. I was in the building. Yeah. The whole week, everybody got up there and talked about her black job and black this and black this and black this and black that. Everybody made her black her up.
Right.
But it was the onus was on her from her lips to say that. And people can say that it didn't make a difference, and that's fine. I will die on that hill that had those moments been utilized in that way, that I think it would have moved the needle more. I could be wrong, but I'm willing to stand on that.
No, I agree. I agree. I agree.
I can see that. I still see people questioning it to this day. So Reecie, I hear you. Those are all really valid assessments of ways that she could have improved.
Yes.
However, are we not questioning the fidelity of that election in general?
Well,
are we not questioning
the
outcome in general? You see what I'm saying? Like, she could have done a whole lot of things better, but are we 100% convinced?
No,
she did not.
That she didn't win. Yeah,
get what she needed. Exactly. Okay.
I don't. You know what?
Right,
I certainly think it's possible. I would be insane to be like, oh no, it was fair and square. I don't think so. But we know they cheat, and you have to get out of cheating distance. And so that's the problem.
Okay.
We didn't get out of cheating distance. That. And when you look at the numbers, now you can look at, there have been some reports about anomalies. Oh, well, she dropped off here and this person got that. Okay, fine. But I think when you look at the demographic numbers and you see kind of the areas that she struggled, I kind of look at, well, what would have resonated more in those areas? And I remember reports. I remember, talking to some people, and I was like, oh, you probably doing good now because they raised all this money. And they was like, no. So there were certain things that I was hearing on the ground. I remember being on a call, a Zoom for Black women who were volunteering in North Carolina. And they were talking about their struggles. The reason why I don't want to necessarily lean all the way into that is because then I think that absolves people of how we failed as a country to stop this madness. I think it absolves people who, were real getting kiki out of, oh yeah, she lost and da-da-da-da-da-da. And everybody was piping up about how they didn't support her. And then a couple weeks later, oh, it was rigged. So now y'all not so proud of not supporting her. So I think it's possible. 100% is possible. Yeah. They probably got the technology. They could do it if they wanted to. But we know the assignment. And in 2020, we got out of cheating distance. And in 2024, we didn't.
Okay. Ooh, that's uncomfortable.
That's very uncomfortable. It's very, but again, that goes back to like their calculus. I think because being on that call and knowing the struggles, and then I think I read an article about something that was going on in Philadelphia and how people weren't going door to door. But again, I think that goes back to you're not focusing on the people who brought you home every single time. It's like this constant thing of trying to get these people back, get these people back, get these people back. And excuse away their reasoning for not being here, in the first place. So I just feel like there's always this thing about oh, well, Black men feel this way or white women feel this way. We're always ready to explain their reason for not. And I don't know. I guess we do have to understand why they're not here in order to listen to them and to hear them. But at some point, I think there has to be a limit to say, what is the limit? What is the cutoff point? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That you turn your focus to, these are the people that bring me home.
Well, it shouldn't. That should be at the forefront every time, But again, I mean, I talked about how I'm taken for granted, and I think we all as Black women understand that because we do the work, and we do it even when we're not appreciated, even when it's not reciprocated, because it has to be done one way or another. But there are some Black women who are like, go to hell. If you ain't checking for me, I ain't checking for you. And so
there
that's
are.
something to contend with. And I think that
Yeah.
people understand that about other demographics, and they don't necessarily understand that about Black women, because that's not what we put to the forefront. We don't put the go to hell,
Yeah.
I don't give a damn, let it burn for all I care. We don't do that. And when people kind of somewhat express that sentiment, there was a lot of discomfort around that. You know, when Trump was in office,
There was a lot.
oh, child,
Mm-hmm.
where y'all at? What y'all doing? What you mean that? You know, and so
There still is right now. Why aren't y'all in Minneapolis?
hello. Even though look at the people who's arrested, Black. You know,
Right.
So yeah, I think that we are not a squeaky enough wheel sometimes, and that's where I'm like, here I am, I'm putting my foot up your ass, because you're not gonna just disregard and overlook and all those things. Even if I'm personally done that way, as a collective, you're gonna put some respect on us. But I just think that because we do show up. We show up, and sometimes we need to kind of force their hand a little bit more.
Yeah, you've been given Slogan in Minnesota. Is that how you say her name?
Slogan. I
in
think
Minnesota.
I don't know.
Slogan,
Yeah.
whatever. In Michigan, you've been giving her hell, and I appreciate you for that. I appreciate you for that.
And Mandani, like anybody can get it. I don't care.
Girl, you can't say nothing bad about Mandani, child.
And did.
Girl, child.
And Gavin, I don't care. I get on it.
All of them. They can all get it. They can all get it.
What was the woman in Living Color when someone would say something bad about her? Kim Wayans played her. She was like the gossip person, but the minute that somebody said something bad about Miss So-and-so, that's Mandani. You can't say nothing bad about Mandani. You can't say nothing bad about him. And I think that's so unfortunate that we can't hold several truths, at one time. Because I heard the Clay Kane interview that sounded, it was horrible.
Yeah.
It was horrible. He did a horrible interview. It was like he was reading off paper. It was terrible. And he had to go in 10 minutes.
Yeah, it was short.
And when Clay pushed him, it was like, oh, Clay's a hater. No, Clay is trying to get some information.
Right. Hello.
Clay is trying to get him to answer some real questions. He changed his views on the NYPD. Why did you do that? You know what I'm saying? So, but girl, yeah, you can't say that. And I would hope that we learn from Obama that that's not an effective way to push a leader. But girl, yeah, you can't say nothing bad about Mandani.
I don't care. I'll say anything about anybody. Because is it saying something bad, or is it calling a thing a thing? Because
it's calling a
making
thing
an
a
observation.
Thing.
So
yeah, and nobody is untouchable. Nobody's infallible at this point. I want to ask, because our conversations always center and come from the perspective of a Black mother. What are you talking about with your baby, with your Black baby, about what's happening right now as we look toward the midterms? Are we hopeful? Are we trying to instill
will there be midterms?
Optimism?
Right.
What do we?
Well, my Black baby is 4, so.
Oh, okay. So it's
yeah,
early.
she's early.
You don't have to say much.
So what I talk about her is it's more so I'm instilling strength in her, and I'm instilling in her autonomy to her feelings, even if her feelings are negative towards me or negative towards somebody else. I'm like, you're allowed that. What I emphasize the most in my daughter is I want her to know of her autonomy. Even at 4, she has autonomy, and I want her to know that she's entitled to feel what she feels. Now, I try to tell her, let's call it, let's recognize it, but we have to have some guardrails on then how we act out those feelings. But I will still always hold space for her and how she feels. So that's the most important thing to me, because we do not get that as Black women often. It's always performing, as opposed to this is how I feel and you're going to hear about it. But I think in terms of as being a mother in this day and age, I think we have to have some practical things that we're teaching, kind of some of the things that we've taken for granted in recent times about what our rights are. We have people have to talk with their Black sons in particular, what to do if you get stopped by the police and this, that, and the other. So those are part of the Black American experience and Black parenting experience. But I think that now we kind of have to, there's a much wider array of things that we have to arm our kids with. You have to arm them with tools about AI, a number of things.
Thank you for that. Thank you. What are you seeing? If you're looking through the lens, the hat of being a Black mother, what are you seeing for our future and the world we're handing off to your baby? What is it looking like right now?
It's
knowing what you know.
It's scary. It's scary because we're in a very perilous time. But then I also see at the same time people living like la da 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 da. So I'm like, okay, am I tripping? Are we gonna make it through this or not? Like, cause there's people who ain't worried about it. So I think we're in a perilous time, but we've been through perilous times before. And so I think that there's still hope. And maybe I will always have radical hope that we'll see ourselves through these moments because we've done it before. But I do think that it could get a lot worse than what we're seeing. I think we could be seeing a completely reorganizing of our society as we know it. So that scares me. The planet and what's happening with the climate scares me. But it's too hard for me to see past 2028. But even 2028 is looking distant. I'm like, what is it going to look like come October, November? Because I don't feel like where we are right now, I don't think it's tenable. I don't think it's going to just mosey right along to the midterms. So I don't have the answers.
I love that you're an optimist and that you, although you can't see that far out, in this moment you can still hold on to your hope. And I'll take that. I'll take that for me and mine.
Oh yeah. Look, I'm hopeful. I don't think it's cliche now. People might be like, oh, y'all giving yourselves permission to go out there and wear them vans. But I think that Black joy is an act of resistance. And so I feel like you have to do what you can to maintain your hope and to maintain joy and family and friendship and experiences because we don't know how long we're going to have them. So that's how I'm like, let me go ahead. I'm getting my concert tickets and take these trips. And
you do get your concert tickets.
I'm serious about my concert tickets.
You are serious about your concert ticket.
Wait, where are we going next? Who are you seeing next?
Oh, Reece sees everybody. Yeah. Reece sees, if you go to her Instagram, it's political content and Reese's at a concert.
That's pretty much it.
Reese's at a concert. Reese's at a concert.
Fuck you, Nikki Haley.
When I say she is a concert connoisseur, she is a concert connoisseur.
I love, oh my God, concerts are my thing. So my next concert is, I'm going to see 112 and Total.
Oh,
okay. And I don't know if Cases
and Total.
Would I see what? I don't know if I would see them in concert. Would I see 112 in concert?
Well, it's only half of them now, so but that's how it is.
Oh yeah, because yeah.
Q
for Total and 112,
and so 112 in Total. I don't know if Case is going to be there. He's on the tour, but I don't know if he's going to be at this one. So I saw one. I saw Total. Maybe not last year, maybe the year before. Remember they did the Queens of R&B, and it was like Total and SWV and Escape and Maya and. Oh, they were so good. So, yeah.
So you have a knack for taking these huge, big political ideas and breaking them down in digestible pieces. And my mom has a knack for doing that. She was a union leader in not a union-friendly state. Yeah. And so she could talk to, take these big political ideas and make people understand how this was impacting their everyday lives. How did you gain that skill? Because I think it's really important. I think one of the things that we have to be able to do is be able to talk to each other and people in our communities. So how did you gain that skill and how do you hone it that you're able to do that?
Well, that's just how I talk. So that helps because I'm not having to translate, this is how I talk. So, but you know what it is I think maybe where I might differ a little bit from maybe how other people do political commentary is I really try to get to the heart of what resonates with people, what people are talking about, what's going to land with them, Some people, it's like, I'm gonna say what I want to say, and it could be in any audience, it could be in any setting, and it's about showcasing their intelligence and their brilliance. But I'm not, I don't talk to showcase my knowledge. I talk because this is an issue, and this is how I think my theory is, if people knew this aspect of it, if they had this context, then maybe they would view it differently. And so that's what I talk to give context, and I talk to try to get to the root of what people are holding on to. But that's how I am. Even in my regular life, as I'm listening, I'm a problem solver. So like, don't come to me if you just want to vent. I'm probably not that girl. I'm gonna be like, okay, do this, do that, do that. And I've tried to kind of back off of that a little bit, but I'm always listening to what people are saying, and I'm always like, okay, well, how do we solve that? Or how do we, okay, well, maybe if this happens, or maybe if that happens. I'm always trying to take in information and improve the circumstances. So that's what you see in my political commentary.
Okay, so the last question I have for you is, I want to run some numbers by you.
I'm a numbers girl, but I'm like, okay, what numbers you got?
Some numbers by you. Some numbers. You segued into it, but we went away from it. Okay, so Terrence Woodbury.
Yes.
Hit Strategies. I saw this clip of him on Roland Martin. This was in July of last year. And he had done some polling post-election. And so he says that based on some polling he done post-election, just to give an autopsy for the election, 66% of Black voters believe men should be head of household.
Interesting.
59% of Black women believe this. 75% of Black men believe this. I don't know who he polled, how many people he polled. This is just, and Terrence was just giving the information. So I don't want people going to Terrence like,
no, Terrence is
he's just
highly respected, highly reputable pollster. Yes.
Yes. 59% of Black people believe trans gains came at their expense. And so what he's saying from this information is, what his analysis is that Democrats have to change their attitude and find a way to communicate the ever-changing world in a way that doesn't make these people feel threatened or as if you're wagging your finger at them. Because some of these beliefs, especially like head of household, come from the church. So if you're wagging your finger at me, you know, and this belief comes from the church, then, you know, that's saying something about my spiritual belief. I'm struggling here. Because I believe, again, this goes back to the same thing with the white voter, that it's like, oh, well, they feel like the world has left them behind, and, you know, factories shut down. And so they're angry about not having jobs. I watched this whole documentary on Oklahoma City bombing, and they just explained so much about how he became a white supremacist. And it was very interesting to me because it's like, oh, well, this happened, and this radicalized him. But Black people aren't given sort of that same compassion. We're pathologized.
That's true.
Instead. And so, but when I look at these numbers, I'm struggling because I don't think I would not have the same sort of compassion for white people. Like if white people felt like our gains came at their expense, I would be like, okay, well, I don't know what to tell you. That's wrong.
Too bad.
I don't know what to tell you. And I don't think that should be coddled. But I just wanted your perspective, because when you're talking about winning an election, and you have to get these votes, your calculation may be different.
Well, you know, I think knowledge is power.
That was a deep breath, Reece. That was a deep breath.
I think that you know, a lot of times people, they get data and then they immediately want to challenge the data, you know, and I think that it's instructive. And so now I had my unofficial polling, because I said in 2023, I said, oh, child, all I heard was trans and immigrants trans. I said we have a problem, because I was on Chicago Talk Radio in 2023. It's on my X account. I don't go on there anymore, but you can find it. And I said, before even Kamala was nominated, I said, this immigration shit is keeping me up at night. So I think what people have to understand is, okay, well, what is it that you really have the problem with, and how are you making that connection to the politics?
Okay.
And I'll give you a perfect example of one of the things that I was really, agitated about was when Kamala was asked about, people who are here illegally getting benefits. And she's went on about prosecuting transnational gangs and all that other kind of stuff. Girl, the disinformation that's out there is that, this immigrant was in front of me and they had their receipt had $10,000 of food stamps balance. And so it's like, well, you have to tackle the thing that people are have an issue with. Now, does that make you a little bit of a butthole if you're just like, well, F all immigrants because this person got, yeah, it does. So you're not always gonna be faced with a person who has high moral fabric and character and who is kumbaya, we are the world. But you got to get some of those people's votes. So I don't think you should pander to them. I don't think that you have to throw communities under the bus, but you do have to learn how to tap into this specific policy issue. And unfortunately, that takes cumulative credibility.
I think Obama was really good at that.
He was good with it. He was good with it. Unfortunately, some of the stuff that he said in-house went out-house, but and part of the backlash to him was because he does have that credibility, and people didn't like how he was portraying Black men. But I think that you have to realize that it takes time. It takes a number of tactics. Some videos, I'm like, all right, I ain't gonna come out here cussing y'all out. I'm gonna come on here and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be nice today. I'm gonna be nice when I tell you this, and then sometimes I'm like, so, but because it's not winning in exchange, it's building credibility. You can do both. You can do a multiple things. So I think what we have to stop thinking is that there's going to be a one-time message, a one ad, a one meme, a one this. What Republicans have done is they've invested in credibility. They've built up people who have credibility with their audiences, and their audiences have grown, which means that their credibility has more capital for Republicans to say stuff that we know ain't true. So, and with Democrats, they haven't invested in that. So the onus becomes completely on the candidate who can't have 17 different messages out of their own mouth. Now you can micro-target, but so I just think that we think too small as Democrats, and I'm not saying us personally, but I'm saying the Democratic apparatus, it thinks too small. And the Republicans, they think big all the time. Get Greenland, and get Venezuela, get Canada. Like, and we over here like, well, can we have these little tweaks? We talking about tweaks, they talking about the whole shebang. So until we learn, we being Democrats, until they learn how to stop playing small ball and think big, then we're going to be still playing catch up all the time.
I would have thought they would have learned that from Obama's election.
You would think. You would think.
I don't know how this made me feel, Reecie. I don't know.
Look,
girl.
I tried to end on a high note. You brought us back down, Crystal.
I had to get that question in because it's just been like it's weighing on me. I feel as though what I hear my single friends talking about in terms of Black men and Black women is showing up in the electorate, and I think that
that's true.
We've got to find a way through. Yeah. And when he said these numbers, I was like,
yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. But I think, to be fair to Black men, they are not invested in either. They get the same, let's go to the Black church a couple weeks before the election kind of thing. They're part of the conversation and what are Black men going to do? But in terms of pouring into that credibility cycle, Charlemagne just got a $200 million podcast thing. Stephen A. Smith got $100 million or whatever it was. I don't know, lots of money. But how much is Roland Martin getting? How much is Clay Kane getting? Joe Madison, the legend, the Black Eagle, how much was he getting? So,
Oh, my stomach.
The investment is not there. We're not going to win this war organically. We punch above our weight class, but we're just not going to win it. And so I don't think that Black men have gotten any more of a fair shake than Black women have in terms of the Democratic Party and in terms of I don't think a PDF is getting more of a fair shake. Now, they have gotten more attention, but I don't think that they have been invested in any more so. And when I say invested in, I mean as an apparatus, not targeting some messages.
I see what you're saying.
The apparatus. Charlie Kirk was an apparatus, and now his wife and her phony pony are an apparatus.
Right.
There are not Black men who are being invested in the same way on our side. And I'm not saying that, I'm not trying to dog anybody else out, but I'm saying the people who are rooted in this work of moving the needle in our community for economic empowerment, for political empowerment, where's the investment there? And I don't see that any more so than I see for Black women.
I got you.
So that's what I'm referring to. Now talk about the attention economy. The attention economy is different, but you can't cash the attention economy. That's not power. That's just attention. Nicki Minaj is attention. She doesn't have power. So we have to look past what is happening in the attention economy and what's happening in the actual bankable political power.
Where does that investment come from? Is it a party investment, or is it just people who, instead of investing in platforms, decide to write op-eds in the New York Times?
Well, yeah, no, it's. I'm not saying the RNC is doing this, but
you're saying just people who want that agenda. Got you.
Republicly aligned people, and democratically aligned people. They don't want to do that. They'll have galas and they'll give out awards and they'll do all the things.
And they'll write pieces in the New York Times.
They'll do that. They'll host fundraisers. But they're not investing.
Got you.
In the way that 18-year-old Charlie Kirk, no college education, got that investment initially. Reportedly, I'm going to say it like Clay, allegedly reportedly, he got that investment off the strength of them saying, that's going to be the one right there. And if you can name a Charlie Kirk on our side, I mean, obviously, completely different. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying, name a Black man that democratically aligned people have said, you take this and build a multi-million-dollar organization that is about Black political power. We have the NAACP, we have the Urban League, we have those, but I'm saying, can you name anything else? No. That's the difference. That's why we are playing catch up.
Yeah. So if someone democratically aligned invested in Urban View or invested in Roland Martin's platform, I
mean, that would help, because these people aren't just, they're so fabulous and everybody loves them. Those platforms are invested in. You know what I'm saying? They have ads. Yeah. They have teams. They have institutional support, and we're part of SiriusXM, so there's an institutional aspect there.
Right.
But the name carries us, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just saying that there has to be more of a deliberate investment, not just in let's change this message. Because if you have an infrastructure, then the messaging is small potatoes compared to the fact that
I see what you're saying.
We have the other side that has a whole worldview of information shaped. Every story is curated and shaped that they see. This isn't a message. It's their whole worldview. And I'm not saying that we want to build this evil genius on the Democratic side.
No, I get what you're saying.
But I'm just saying,
I get what you're saying.
We are trying to fight organically, naturally, what is very unnatural, what is very, very manufactured, and what is very heavily invested in on the other side. And that's where, until that problem is resolved, and I don't think that's resolved by paying a couple people on TikTok or having little, whatever things, there has to be, I would say, billions of dollars invested in the way that it's been, or at least $1 billion. Okay, at least $1 billion spread across, So yeah, so
I get what you're saying, and it can be done. I mean, yeah, I still don't know how I feel,
Yeah.
but I thank you.
We appreciate you. We do.
You.
We
Thank
do.
you. You're welcome
having
to,
We
me.
do.
hey, and,
Mm.
anytime you want to come inside the Black Mama Magic Room and get on here and say, hey, I just need Black mamas to know this, please
You're
don't
welcome.
hesitate to reach out, especially with these midterms
Yes.
coming up. I think one of the mistakes that we made is that we didn't use our platform enough in 2024, and I don't want to make that mistake
Yeah.
again. I want to be much braver
Yeah.
moving forward. So anytime you need us, you can
Yes, ma'am.
feel free to reach out to us. So let us know what you have coming up.
Yeah.
What do you have going on? I know you have, your own games. You have the Am I Tripping game, and I forgot the name of it.
Sounds about right. Yes, I have
Sounds
two
about
card
right.
games.
Yeah.
That's part
Yeah,
of
yeah.
It's all about me this year. Is really investing in really scaling those up. I have a very loyal audience, and I've sold thousands of copies, and people have raved about it. But it's time to really put my entrepreneurial hat on and really make those.
Okay.
So that's what I'm focusing on more so these days. So thank you for giving me the
Great.
opportunity to talk about it.
You're
It's
welcome.
amitrippinggame.com. That's where you can get my stuff at.
Okay,
We'll put that in the show notes.
We'll put that link in our show notes. And do you and Clay have any live shows coming up?
We are going to do Beyond the Mic again.
Okay.
But we don't have it scheduled. So we normally do that summertime. So around April, May, we kind of start talking about it. But his book is all the attention. I did his book launch in New York. I did Philly. Then he has a lot of book tour stops about me as well.
Yeah, he does.
So,
he does. I got to get the book.
Burn Down Master's House. That's what you got.
Yeah, I got to get the book.
And I recommend the audiobook because I listened to it, to be fair, I listened to it on double time because I'm a fast talker.
Okay.
So I'm like,
That's how I listen.
You
That's how I listen.
I
Yeah.
cannot listen on double
I listen
time.
fast. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, and you can catch Reese's show every Saturday on Urban View, SiriusXM Urban View, noon to
It's 2 p.m. Eastern
2 p.m.
to 4 p.m. Eastern time. It's me and my girl Erica Savage. She's founder of the Reframe Brain podcast and wellness community. We take calls. It's a fun show. It's very interactive. I want it to be interactive. So yeah.
Yeah, it is. It's very interactive. And if you can't catch it, on Saturday, do what I do. Listen to the replay. Because if you have the SiriusXM app, you can rewind, go back, listen to it, whatever you miss.
Yes.
So thank you, Reese. We appreciate
Thank you.
I don't know how I feel, but
you.
you gave me a dose of reality, and I always appreciate that.
Well, I appreciate it. And I'll leave you all with, look, make sure that you don't ever feel like you have to apologize for choosing you. Do not feel like you have to be the mule of anybody's situation, circumstance. We are not here to be mules for anybody. So if there is something like what I've expressed earlier, where I'm like, I had to realize that, yes, even though I have this greater purpose and sense of justice, I still have to put some boundaries so that I'm not being depleted. I hope that you at least take that away, is that you can be strong and you can be fearless and you can be righteous, but you still have to have boundaries.
That's a word.
And I think that's
Thank
especially
you.
poignant for Black mothers. So
Especially.
thank you so much, Reese.
Thank you.
So happy to have you on.
you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Our next and final segment. So we get it together.
Good cover up. Good cover up, Keish. Good cover up. Keep it going. Keep going. Keep going. It's all good.
Black Mama Says, where we put our own twist on sayings from Black mamas. For this one, though, as we always do early in the year, we are sharing our word for the year. This is the word that will guide us and root us in 2026. Crystal, what is your word for the year?
Okay, so I'm struggling. I have 2 words.
First, tell us, what was your word for 2025? Let's start there. What was
Maintain.
it? Maintain.
You have to say it like that. Maintain.
Mm-hmm. Maintain. And did you feel like you did it manifest? Maintain throughout the year? Did you see that?
I did. I feel like, especially towards the end of the year, my focus was like like laser towards the end of the year. So yeah, I do feel like I maintained. And going off of that, I want to like kind of step that up and like even go deeper into that. And so like, do I want to be braver or do I want to be radical?
Ooh.
I think radical.
I like radical.
I think radical because I want to, at first I was thinking fearless. I was like, that's not enough. Like is what, how the word that I want to guide me is beyond fearless. So maybe radical is the word. Yeah.
I like that. That's a great word. I think it's going to pair well with mine.
Oh, okay. So we'll go with radical. Okay, radical
We're
it
gonna
is.
see. We're going to see. We're going to see.
We're going to see.
Okay.
Let me just say, I'm impressed that you have a word. I just want to say that.
I did just get some assistance with it. Anyway.
Okay.
So last year my word was abundance.
Right.
And Thea warned me, honey, when abundance is your word.
Abundance is contraction comes
it doesn't
to,
look like what you think it's going to look like. Okay. It doesn't mean overflow and
How do you feel like that worked out?
So there were moments in the year where I had, a little bit of reprieve, like, oh, Lord, I didn't know how that was going to get paid, and a little something came through. That was great. That was great a couple times. But mostly I was being stretched. I was being tested. I was being like, Lord, how much more can one person take this year? There was a lot of that happening.
I think that's happening to me this year, NeKisha.
I think radically, apparently. And then,
maybe the word will come back like that. I didn't think about that.
But then at the very, very end of the year and mostly into January, the harvest started to show up.
The harvest of that stretching?
The harvest. So all of that sewing, all of that, man, what is all this for? Oh, can I take anything else? The abundance is starting to show up a little bit now. I'm starting to see a little something come through. So I feel like perhaps all of 2025 was the build up, the sewing, the working for, the stretching, all of that for the harvest in this year. And that's what I'm hoping for. That's what I'm
so your word is harvest.
I'm coming to get my shit this year.
Do you feel like, I like that. Do you feel like when you were stretched, do you feel like your response to that stretching was abundant? Like, do you feel like you would be mindful of your word in those times?
Oh, that's a great question. So maybe not literally, but it felt like I was always being stretched to be able to contain more. So, you know what I mean? Stretched to be able to receive more. That there was just some more learning, some more growing that had to occur, some more positioning that had to occur. So yeah, I don't know if I would have called it in that moment but I can see now retrospectively, it was a setup. It was preparation.
What did you think in those moments?
More, what the hell is going on? Like I said, how much more? For real. I don't have nothing else to get. Come on now. Let up a little bit, please.
That's so interesting. Like the word was abundant and your thought in those moments you were being stretched was how much more? Yeah. Maybe not in the moments where I was unfocused, but in the moments that I was focused, I would certainly feel like I just want to stay here. Like it felt so good to have that level of focus. I hadn't had it in a really long time. I felt like I was pulling my younger self forward that had been stunted at some point, and like that person was coming back, and it felt extremely powerful. I'll tell you this though, I could feel when I wasn't. You know how sometimes you're procrastinating or you're not being, I hate this word, productive, but I could feel that now more than I felt it in the past.
I get that. Yeah.
So I think I felt my word a lot more last year than I felt the words in the past.
So it was a good choice then. I
think it was a very good choice. And I think that I've changed in some ways where I feel more embodied. And so that could also explain why I felt it on a deeper level. It was, It was a great word. It served me well. So
here's what you're seeing me in real time shifting, I think.
So you're going to shift from harvest?
I may, because I think.
Oh, I had an ending sentence for us too.
Did you?
Mm-hmm. But
with
go ahead.
Radical Harvest?
With Radical Harvest. But I want to hear what you have to say though first. Go ahead.
So now the word, it's very similar to maintain. The word sustain is coming up.
Sustain.
Which kind of talks about keeping it, holding it.
Like not just receiving the harvest, but sustaining the harvest. But what's another word for sustain?
Let's see. It says sustain equals keeping it without burning it down. It centers longevity over expansion, maintenance over initiation, stewardship over creation, and pacing over proving. I really like sustain.
I like expand.
Oh, now I'm not doing another one of those. Fool me once. No, ma'am.
Fool me once. Okay.
No, I'm not about to stretch me all year. That was last year, okay? So I'm going to see. Let me sit with sustain and harvest. I'm going to let you know. I'm going to let you know where I end
because
up.
we can say in the end, it could be.
Where are you going?
May you sustain a radical harvest.
Oh. What were you going to say before?
May your harvest be radical.
I like both of those.
I do too.
I like the second one better.
You like may your harvest be radical?
Yeah. All right, let's sit with it. We'll see. Okay.
May your harvest be radical. Okay.
All right. So that's our words for the year. Mine is TBD. I'm going to see which one feels a little better as I move into the year a little further.
Okay. And if we need to shift it, we would. Because that's not a major shift. But if we need to shift it, we will. Okay. So you'll say, may your harvest, and I'll say, be radical.
Be radical. Okay.
That's
there
it.
You go.
That's what we got. Okay, y'all. That's what we got. And let us know if you have a word for the year. Let us know in the comments if you have a word for the year. Especially on our YouTubers. Let us know if you have a word for the year. And thank you, YouTubers. We're at 255 now. Appreciate y'all.
We love y'all.
We're at 255. So just make sure you're hitting that button.
We got to do the closing. We got to tell them to do all the things.
Right.
All right.
Okay, go ahead.
Follow us on IG at Dim Black Mamas Podcast. And if you don't want to miss a minute of the magic, you know what to do. Sign up for the Mothership, which includes reflections on the conversations we've been having and hearing. And we also share a collection plate cause where we spotlight causes and initiatives that resonate within our community.
And don't forget to check out our website, dimblackmamas.com. Dim Black Mamas is a conversation, so our inbox is always open. Send us your thoughts about the show, show us some love, and ask us some questions at magic@dimblackmamas.com. You can always DM us on Instagram as well. Be sure to listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. So hit that subscribe. I think it's here. I don't know. It's somewhere along here.
Hit the button.
Hit that subscribe button and then hit the bell so that you'll get a notification when we have a new video. Don't forget to check out our show syllabus. That's on our website as well. And please check out our playlist, y'all. Y'all know we love a good playlist. So please check out our playlist. We have a Black Healing playlist for the month of February for Black History, Black Healing Month. And we have our episode playlist. So in closing,
may your harvest
be radical. Oh, I like it. Okay.
Oh,
we made it. Our first show without Thea. That's all we got. We ain't got no more.
Namaste.
Right. Namaste.
Namaste.